Hi everybody, Mr. Politics here, and welcome to another video. The BBC give licence payers money to Hamas. Well, it looks like the BBC are in trouble now. They've been found out to be giving money to the terrorist Hamas. That's the licence payers' money the BBC have been giving to them, and it's landed them in some trouble. And of course, the BBC, being a bunch of lefties, have got to try and spin this out, try and spin their way out of trouble, because this is over documentary they broadcast last week about what it's like to live in Gaza. And it would appear that you, the licence payers, TV licence payers, have had your money taken away from the licence to pay the BBC and given to Hamas. I mean, what were the BBC thinking about this? What were they doing? I mean, we all know that the BBC are a bunch of lefties, don't we? I mean, they did stage a coup to bring down Boris Johnson as Prime Minister. We all know they did their part they played in that. But this is going to get them into trouble, and I'm going to be called before the select committee of MPs this week, I believe. I don't know when it is, but it's this week. And they've got a lot of questions to answer as to why the licence payers' money is being given to Hamas, which of course has got to be proved. But you know, the BBC, they'll try and cover it up if they can. They'll try and blame somebody else and say it was nothing, we didn't give them any money, but the truth will come out. It always does in the end, doesn't it? But of course, the BBC, being the BBC, they will deny it. They'll say, well, we never gave licence payers money to Hamas. We'd never do that. What a bunch of liars they are. I mean, look at the propaganda they've spewed out since the conflict between Hamas and Israel started. They seem to be more on the side of Hamas than on Israel's side. I mean, every time Israel try to defend themselves, the BBC come out with, the Israelis, they're just war criminals. Well, Israel is not a war criminal. They're just defending themselves from Hamas. But of course, the BBC, they don't see it that way. They've got to side with the terrorists, which they always have. They always have done. They've always blamed past governments for problems in the world. But you never seem to hear them at the moment criticising this government, Keir Starmer and his cretins. And you never hear them criticising them, do you? They used to when the Conservatives were in government. But now their man, Starmer, is in government, and their part, Labour, in government. They've gone very quiet. But I dare say this truth will come out. I mean, Kemi Baganot is demanding answers. Wants to know what's been going on, and we all do, don't we? I mean, after all, it's licence payers' money that the BBC collect to keep their funding going. I mean, you know, the BBC, they used to be respected. They used to be respected, trusted with their news, but they've gone all lefts. They're more just become a bunch of lefties, haven't they, at the moment? They've not trusted. You can't trust the BBC with anything, with any news. all they do is lie and side with this communist government we have in the UK at the moment. That's all they do. They never side with anybody else. They don't like to hear the truth. They've just, well, like I've said, they're just a bunch of lefties trying to part of the globalist elite. They're just doing what they tell them what news stories to put out. And of course we have Two-Tier Kia. We got him telling the BBC what they can report. So this is what we have with the BBC. They, like I've just said, they used to say the BBC was trusted with their news coverage. Well, they're not anymore. They're just liars. They're not trusted at all. This is what happens when they become a left-wing organisation. Well, they've always been, haven't they? Since they first started. Since they first started the broadcasting, the BBC, they've always been a bunch of lefties. Never on the side of on what's right. They've always left-wing nutters. That's all they are, the BBC, and they're just like I've said, basically liars. Well, that's the end of this video. Mr. Politics here signing off. And remember, don't believe the lies.